Hi, Wiley Petersen here with bullridercoach.com. I wanted to review some of the top rides from the 2019 PBR's Iron Cowboy Event. It's a great event. Toughest bulls in the world are there, so I thought it would be a good informational piece, and to hopefully help you bull riders out there to kind of watch this video and see some of the top rides from 2019. Check out the PBR's YouTube channel. They put out great videos of rides. So without further ado, let's get started in watching these rides. So I put these rides in about quarter speed so that could really slow it down for us to see what's going on. This is Brennan Eldred, obviously. You can really see how every jump, he's getting back to the front, right? He's position 1, position 2, position 1. You see really getting out over the front end really well. Big, strong bull into his hand, throws his free arm over his head so that he's not crossing his body. If he were to cross his body, let's just kind of pause it here. So if he were to cross his body with his free arm, it would have put the weight on the outside of the spin, but you can see the way he's pitching his free arm over his head, driving that riding shoulder forward. He's got the weight on the inside of the spin, which is exactly what you have to have on a rank bull like that. As we come forward, he kicks loose when the bull's kicking, getting some extra points there. Back to position 1, right? He's back to the forward position. He's a little bit to the inside of the spin there. He's got his weight on the inside of the spin as that bull's coming. Again, big, strong bull like that, you've got to be able to get that weight on that inside. And then again, the bull comes in to the kick. He's back. He's into position 2 here, where that bull's kicking. Riding shoulders forward, free arm over his head, weights on the inside of the spin, and then back to position 1. So right here, he squares back up. He's in position 1. Now he's going to go again, big jump there, and he's kicking loose, throwing that free arm over his head, keeping the weight on the inside of the spin. And great bull ride for 86 3/4 points. See, the bull is spinning into his hand. Ideally, you want to get off into your hand. If that doesn't work, the bullfighters can't get him to jump out of it. You can see how he pulled his tail, let go of his rope, and then he started to slide to the outside of that spin. That was just a great bull ride. Good get off. He got out of there fine, and that's how you do it right there. These are great rides to study, so I'd highly recommend you watch rides like this and just slow them down like I'm doing, and kind of frame by frame and watch it. So here we got Cannon Cravens on Heartless. Again, you can see big kicks, and then that bull finally comes around away from his hand. He's getting to position 1. Of course, Jesse Burns standing in the way here, but there we go, better angle here. So position 1, 2, 1, 2, right? As that bull kicks, he's dropping his free arm down, gets around that corner. Let's kind of rewind this here. So we're going back to position 1 and then 2, and so away from his hand, right? That bull, if he's getting around that corner, you can see where he's dropping in a little bit into the spin, and then he's got that. You can see where his free arm, if his free arm's too high and he's not leaning a little bit into the spin, it would have thrown him to the outside of the spin. So you can see he's got the weight on the inside of the spin, letting that bull bring him around. He's kicking loose with this outside leg. And then he gets back to position 1. Right here, he's back to position 1. He's just up onto his legs, right? He's got a nice bend in his riding arm. He's up on his legs. He's got a good hold with his feet. He's square. And then bull goes a little bit higher. And now he's going to kick. sets his hips to his rope, drops that free arm, and and my preference would be for him to get his free arm just a little bit lower, get his elbow a little bit lower. I feel like it's a little bit too high, but he obviously makes the whistle, and that's the name of the game. If there's anything that I could critique him on, it'd be to get that elbow just a little bit lower away from his hand. But he does a great job getting back to position 1, then position 2, 1 and 2. Now the whistle's blown, and time for him to get off. And we'll just kind of play it through here. He's going to pick his spot. He doesn't want to get off on the fence. He doesn't want to get off away from his hand. He's going to pull his tail. And if you're going to pull your tail, guys, don't hang on to your tail. Pull it, let go of it, and then get off as quick as you can. So here he bails, gets thrown kind of away from the bull, which is exactly what you want. You don't want to be thrown under it. So here we have Alisson de Souza on Acting Crazy. Bull right one jump and then into his hand. Does a great job of this bull has a little bit of suck back. You can tell because he's not having to get out over him a whole lot. He's just sitting up and getting around that corner. So bulls that suck back or push back, however you want to say it, if you get out over them at all, you really have to have a solid hold with your feet because they'll want to whip you down. But he does a great job of just staying square and kind of go back to the beginning here, and we'll go frame by frame again. So he just comes out, bulls hits, and then into his hand. He's as I mentioned before, he's got his free arm is behind him with his riding shoulder forward. That puts the weight on the inside of the spin there, and then he does position 1 and then 2, 1, 2, and again with a bull that pushes back like that, sucks back, you don't have to get out over him a ton. So he does a great job of keeping the weight on the inside of the spin. Never crosses in front of his body with his free arm. If he crossed in front of his body, again, it would put his weight on the outside of the spin, and he'd get bucked off. So he does a great job of just keeping that inside weight and getting around that corner. Made it look fun, look like a fun bull to ride for 87.25 points. So again, these are great rides to watch and study and learn from. So we'll go to the next ride. Well, I guess I should say as he's going to get off here, he's waiting for the right time. The bull was going into his hand. He waited. He didn't get off on the fence. He waited until that bull started going away from his hand. Now he pulled his tail. Now he's looking for his spot, and now you can kind of see where he's kind of figured out. Okay, now I'm going. He's looking to the ground, kicks his leg over the bull's head, and lets that bull kind of throw him out. And that was a great example of how to get off a bull good and safe. Here's Joao Ricardo Vieira on Cochise. Into his hand, big strong bull. Really got to get out over them more when they're strong like this. You can see him. He kind of gets a little bit off his rope, but he catches back up, lifts on his rope when that bull's coming down, and gets back to his rope, resets his feet, and just keeps riding. It's a great bull ride. I'm going to kind of go back here, and we'll go step by step again. So big, strong bull like that, you can see he's really out over him a bunch. He knows he's strong, so he's kind of anticipating that. And then position 1, you can see him really getting out over the front of him here. And again, if you just bend over in the hips, but you're not squeezing with your legs, all you're gonna do is slide off the back. So you've really got to squeeze with your legs. You can't just bend at the hips. You've got to squeeze with those legs. That's position 1. And then when he kicks, set your hips to your rope, and you can see he never leaned back, right? He was still going forward, so that when Cochise finally started to come up in the front end, he's already there. Like, he didn't have to try to get back to the front. He's already there. He just let Cochise come up to him, and then he does it again. And again, let's see how he's throwing his free arm kind of over his head behind him, driving that riding shoulder. The weight's on the inside of the spin here. He's staying up on his rope. And then he's back to position 1. Squares up, squeezing with his legs. And then here's where he gets that bull takes a big jump forward, and he gets slid off his rope. But he doesn't panic, right? He just lifts, kicks loose, and shuffles back to the front, and then he's right back to position 1, out over that bull's hump, squeezing with his legs, and then he just keeps it rolling, right? And then he finishes the ride, kicking loose, and just, if it's working and you're riding him, keep doing it. Don't start thinking, just keep riding, and finish strong. And you can see here, the whistle blows. So now he's going to grab his tail. He's starting to slip off to the outside. You can kind of see where he's working himself to the outside of the spin, and he's able to let Cochise throw him a good distance away. So he's safe. He lands, he rolls, and 90 some odd points. So there you go, guys. That's top rides of the 2019 PBR Iron Cowboy event. Hopefully that kind of helps break things down a little bit. Find rides that you like that are great, and just slow them down like that, and just watch them and back them up and pause them, and really look at what these guys are doing to get these bulls rode, and think about what, the things that I tell you in the videos and whatnot, and at our clinics, things like that, because that's, learn by observation, and then go out and practice and do it. So let me know if there's a video that you'd like me to review. Email it to me or whatever. Let me know. Wiley@bullridercoach.com. Do my best to answer your questions and help you out. So with that, keep working hard, having fun, and be a champion.